Welcome back, everyone. Joe Brady back with you, and I'm going to continue on from the last demonstration I did where we stitched together this panoramic. I want to show you a really cool technique you can use with a separate plugin and Photoshop to really add pop to your images. So what we're going to do is send this into Photoshop first. So we'll go to Edit in Photoshop or Command or Control E, and then we'll tab over to Photoshop. And here's our image in Photoshop waiting for us. Let's fill it up a little bit bigger. And the filter I'm going to use is NYX Silver Effects. So I have that already installed. I go to Filters, NYX Collection, Silver Effects Pro 3. Now, Silver Effects is a black and white conversion program, and I don't want a black and white. However, I'm going to show you a really cool thing you can do with a black and white as a filter. Think of it as a luminosity mask. So here's the default neutral. You can see as you scroll down here, there's all kinds of choices. For a landscape, one of my favorites is something called Wet Rocks. So as I scroll down, there it is, Wet Rocks. All right, that looks a lot better. It's got a lot more drama and contrast to it. However, the sky's a little bit too light yet. And if you ever did black and white photography, you knew that yellow, orange, and red filters would bring down your clouds and a blue sky. Now, there's no blue sky here, but there's some blue behind it. So let's go ahead and try yellow. Oh, and look what that just did. Look at the difference by just adding that yellow filter over the gray. And yeah, I think we got something we can use. So I'm just going to simply hit apply. By the way, this is something you're going to use a lot if you want to try this technique. So save it as a preset. I already did. I have one called Wet Rocks with yellow filter. So I'm going to click apply, and it's going to generate that black and white and put it on a layer over top of our original image. All right, and there it is. Now, as a black and white, you could be done. You could say, yeah, that's really cool. I like it. But I wanted to show you how you can take this black and white and combine it with your color image to add some pop to it. And we're going to do that with a blending mode change. So right above the layers, you see where it says normal. These are the blending modes. If I click on there, the one I'm after is luminosity. It will keep the color, but it's going to use the black and white as a mask over top. And you see as I turn it on and off, look at the before and after. Now, that's a little strong. So let's bring the opacity down. Let's see what about 50% looks like. Yeah, I think about there. Let's see. Yeah, look what it does for the sky. Look how much pop it adds to it. Now, it also has a tendency to make the shadows go a little bit darker, maybe a little too dark. I'm going to fix that in a separate technique. So I think that looks pretty good, but there's more. I'm going to hold down the Alt key and click on the layer menu, which is these three lines right up in here, and click on Merge Visible. Now, if I don't have the Alt key, it would flatten the image. I don't want to flatten it yet. So on this layer, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select just the shadows. How do we do that? Come up to Select, Color Range, and I already had shadows chosen. I think the default will be sampled colors. So click on here, choose shadows, and you kind of get a thumbnail here as to what it thinks the shadows are. And you can adjust it up or down. If I want to bring the range down a little bit, have it choose a little bit less, you can see there's a lot less, but actually I kind of liked where it was. I think about right there is getting everything I consider a shadow. So let's hit OK, and it selects everything that considers a shadow. And what we're going to do is do a levels adjustment just on these shadow areas. To do that, you come down to here, the little circle, and it's called an adjustment layer. We're going to do a levels adjustment layer. And you get a levels panel here, and you can see everything's off to the left in the histogram because it's just the shadows. And all we're going to do is take the middle slider and move it over to the left a little bit. And you can see what's going on. If I bring it all the way, I can make them white. I just want to make them slightly less black. I think about right there looks pretty good. And yeah, I think I'm happy with that. Let's take a look at it full screen. And that looks pretty cool, especially when you consider I'll hide the previous layers before I edit. We went from that to that. So let's zoom in. There's 50%. And you can see when you run a filter like this, I'm starting to get some noise. Here's 100%. Yeah, it's a little bit noisy. What can we do about that? Well, guess what? There's another filter we haven't touched yet. And I should have done it to this layer right here. In fact, let's go ahead and do that. We're going to run another filter. Filter, NYX Collection, and the one we're going to use for this is called Define. And Define is NYX noise reduction filter. It will automatically start doing its thing, And on the left and right, it shows you the before and after. So if I drag this down to the top of the lighthouse itself, we'll split the lighthouse. Look at the difference in noise between the before and after. It's an amazing difference, and it's that easy. You just let it do its thing. So I'll hit OK. It will apply that filter. It'll take a minute on a really big file. And if you look down the bottom left, you'll see this is a really big file. Down here it says this is 12,726 pixels wide. That's a big file. All right, look at how clean that looks. And we'll go look at the whole image. Let's look at it at full screen. And not too shabby. Again, we'll bring back the layers. Here's our before. Here's our after. Just a lot of pop to the image without hurting anything, without making anything bad. And we got rid of the noise by using that define filter. So if you don't have the NIC filters, highly recommend it. Just do a search on NIK filters. It'll take you right there. It's an entire suite of filters. If I go down here, you can see you get all those filters. It's Silver Efex and Viveza and Color Efex are three that I can tell you you're going to want to use all the time. So that's it for today. Just a quick demonstration on how to add a little bit more pop to your image with a Photoshop trick. Give it a try, and I think you'll be really amazed what it can do for your images. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you online again soon. Bye-bye.